The journey toward our higher selves continues with conversations in the Indigo Tent. Join us on the adventure.
Hey Zella, welcome to the tent.
Hi, Wendy. I'm super excited to be here today. We have a guest, a childhood friend of yours.
I know, right? It was just so fun to reconnect again with a longtime friend of mine, Adrian Booher. And so I would just tell you a little bit about her because she's just cool. So Adrian and I actually our paths crossed before we were even born, as our parents were in Tyler, Texas together in the military. And then we went off on our separate ways, or they did. We were born, and Adrian's dad ended up in Denton, Texas, and they were corresponding with my dad. So when my dad was ready to retire, we went to Denton. And so Adrian and I officially met in junior high-ish. And
Yep.
we're roommates for a while after college, and a lot of years later, and 10 kids later for Adrian, she has done some amazing things with life. So welcome, Adrian.
Hi, good to be here, Wendy. Thanks for inviting me to the tent.
We're glad you're here.
Thanks.
So
Been
cool.
fun.
So let's start our conversation off with tell us what you've been up to.
Well, like my latest project or like my timeline kind of thing?
Yeah, all of that.
All of that. Okay. So since Wendy and I were roommates after college, I got married and moved away first. And then started out a family. We started with twins, and then I just say it kind of snowballed from there, and ended up with 10, and they're all beautiful. They're all kids, all different, all
Beautifully
fun, all
unique.
interesting, and all challenging. Yes, in their own special way. We have 6 grandkids right now, and once they get rolling on grandkids, who knows what'll end up. But it's been a fun journey. And through it all, I've been a mom, of course. I've been the things that I've done, my little projects on the side have been through basically all as a stay-at-home mom, through businesses, home-based business, also been a La Leche League leader, a breastfeeding lay counselor, and
I forgot about that.
as well. But then everything got too busy, so I became a 4-H volunteer because that's what the kids were into. So just followed them, and then we started a home-based business raising puppies for families, and so that's what we do now. And then I wrote a book because I've been wanting to write a book for a while and had some ideas, and I kept jotting them down over the years, and it's finally out. And I am so excited.
Yay.
Yeah, so tell us about the book.
Well, the book it kind of had an evolution of its own. It started out going to be a parenting book because I realized at one point that I have a strong Christian foundation, and in our home when we grew up, there was the golden rule. There was, treat people nicely, love your neighbor as yourself. And I realized that those concepts weren't used as much in the home from parents to children as, you think of it as treating a friend, treating a neighbor. But the most important neighbors are the ones you live with. And, if I'm treating my child in a way that I wouldn't have wanted my parents to treat me, then maybe I need to think about it a little more. So I started writing this parenting book. Okay. And I got my steps out. I thought, well, first of all, you have to acknowledge your child for who they are. You can't realistically parent a child that you don't know. Or that you're trying to project yourself onto, or, there's so many things that parents do to their children, including me.
Yeah, be like
So I
your
got
other
these,
brother or sister. Yeah.
I know, right? So I got these steps written out. And I was writing this book, and then all of a sudden I got to a point in the book and I thought, the golden rule requires you to think of yourself. How would I want to be treated? You know, you can't use the golden rule if you don't know how you want to be treated. And that was like a light bulb for me. And I'm going, wait a minute. I don't even know myself well enough. You know what? I don't even like myself right now. So I started writing this book for me. It turned from a parenting book into a self-help book. And this time of turning that golden rule around back on myself was probably the most powerful period of growth for me in recent years. And I have been loving this journey. It is really cool. And so I'm sharing this book because, and the most important thing to me is that every single person on this earth is a valuable, beautiful human being. And everyone has that value within themselves, whether they realize it or not. And loving yourself, learning who you are, and learning how you want to be treated, treating others that way, and then most importantly, treating yourself that way. That to me is paramount right now. And that's the message that I want to share through this book and through some other activities as well.
Amen.
I like what you said about how that we're all valuable souls, whether we realize it or not.
Absolutely. And I didn't realize it for the longest time. You know, I wanted to, and I thought I did, but when I got right down to it, I wasn't honoring myself as if I liked myself, as if I knew myself. So when I realized that, I realized where I needed to turn. I needed to turn around.
You know, that brings up such an important point. We tend to get so focused on our perceived identity, you know, as in you could have literally gotten lost in, well, I'm a mother of 10 kids and I'm a wife, or you're a wife and you're this and this and this, but it's like, but who is Adrian?
Exactly. Me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's, oh, wow. Such an important point is before we lose our identity and all the things that we do, we actually have to have an identity to be able to not
Right.
lose, but you know, to
Right.
use.
Mm-hmm. Or to just be confused, you know. Yeah. It takes a lot of self-reflection. Self-reflection without all the outer stuff that you know, just, you know, ping 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 that comes at us from other people, from other expectations, from the media, from the world. You have to strip a lot of it away. You know, it's not, you know, what do people think I should be, or what does the world think is cool right now? It's, well, what am I, you know? Mm-hmm. What am I at my core?
Yeah, because before you were, well, okay, you were a child of your parents, but before you were a wife, before you were a mother, before you were someday being an empty nester, who were you? Who are you? Yeah, who are we? Before all those other titles get put upon us.
Exactly. Before all the labels, who are we?
Yeah.
I like the word that you use. Who are we at the core of our very being? And I believe personally, there's always a tie to a higher power, to a creator, to a loving father or mother figure, from the standpoint of hopefully we didn't just end up here on our own. Hopefully there's some plan and purpose for our life, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Heavenly Father created us. He knows what's inside. And so we can, you know, when we need help, that's the best place to turn is to him, to because there is that tie. I like that word. We're tied to him.
And then if you think about it, and after all the labels, then what?
Yeah.
Just the way that our bodies were created, the way that this earth is created, it always just astounds me. Although, you know, it shouldn't by now, but how everything was created so perfectly lined up so that we would have the optimal chance possible here in this life. And it's just amazing to me. And that means that every single person on this earth was created to, you know, to have some joy, to have that optimal life, and to have a good chance.
Yeah.
And then,
In that very image.
Mm-hmm.
well, it sounds like your book has a lot of information besides just the self-help that we tend to think of. If you've gone into hormones and such as that, then you really, it sounds like you've done your research, but you are also tapping into what truly makes us connect to our own soul and our higher self.
Right. And to each other, because we do need those connections. They're just better connections if we have a solid connection with our inner self. So, yeah. But if I didn't stop and publish it, if I kept writing, I could have felt, I can keep writing. I can keep going. I'll just have to write more books.
There you go. Well, part 2 is coming out next year.
Right. I am going to write that parenting book. And it's going to have follow the same kind of format. But I think firstly, it's important to connect with yourself. And I think you'll be a better parent. You'll be a better friend. You'll be a better spouse, a better community member. It just enriches everything. It's really cool.
Yeah, because, it occurs to me like what we focus on expands. And so if we focus on all of our faults and all of our this and all of everybody else is doing all of that, and then, that's all we're going to see. But if we focus on who we are, and not to the exclusion of everyone else, but to the understanding of who we are and our place within our family and our life, and I don't mean like a literal place, but like in the order of things, right?
Okay, that reminds me of a part of my book, which is really cool. So think of a spiral staircase. Okay, you're talking about a cycle, or you spiral down. But what happens if you turn around and go the other direction? What do you do?
Spiral up.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things that was one of my personal insights many years ago that I had written in my journal. And as I was writing my book, I was looking through my journal for something completely different and found this little cycle turnaround concept that I had written out. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. But I used the golden rule to turn my cycle around. It was a cycle of criticism, that I was criticizing people in my own head because I didn't feel good about myself. And I thought, okay, so let me take the golden rule. What would I want somebody to think about me? Well, I want them to think that I'm trying my best, isn't that right? Okay, so I can think about them, that they're trying their best. I don't need to pick out their faults. I know, I have plenty, they have plenty, everybody has plenty, but they also have plenty of strengths. They have plenty of good points, plenty of wonderful things about them. And if I pick out them, then it completely turns my cycle around. And I do a 180 and I start going up.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, and I guess similar to that, I have found like in some of those, moments of despair, when we're cycling downward.
You have them too?
I know, right? It's shocking, but yes, frequently, more than I've had them more often than I'd care to admit. But, it's like there's a trigger that starts something, and then it's like,
right.
Well, they didn't like this, and that means nobody's going to like this, and then they're not going to like that, and then and it goes down and down and down, and I'm like, I'm useless. I give up.
It's a little pathway that your thoughts take.
The downward steps.
Yeah.
And then I have found over the years, especially more recently, is that by turning that around, maybe similar to the spiral idea, and thinking about, well, is there anything I'm grateful for at this moment?
Right. Gratitude. That's so important.
And it's like, when I can turn that gratitude around and just either call someone or do something or say something to someone about, I'm really grateful that you did this for me, or that I'm grateful for our friendship, da, 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 da. And then all of a
Oh
sudden,
yeah.
it just kind of cancels that out. So is that
Right,
similar
right.
idea to what you were talking about?
Yeah, in my research, also found that gratitude increases your oxytocin.
Oh, really?
So yes,
I like
love
that.
yes, absolutely. And it's a never ending it's a never ending journey, because because so I was in the middle of writing my book, okay, and I'm feeling great about this. I'm getting this down. I'm accepting myself. I'm believing in myself. I'm considering things. I'm on this journey, and we had a photographer coming over to help take pictures of our puppies and our dogs. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm an author. An author needs a picture, right? So I need this picture. And so I'm putting on my makeup, and I'm coming, and I'm putting on my lipstick, and the same thought that's going through my head, that's been going through my head from the minute I first started putting on makeup as a teenager. I have such thin lips. I wish my lips were thicker. See, look at them. They're nice and thin.
And especially because we see all these, people on TV
Right.
and in the print with
Right.
thick lips.
So I'm looking at my lips and going, oh, such thin lips, and I'm going, Adrian, what are you doing? You're writing a book about this. So I looked at my lips again, and I thought, I have delicate lips. I just changed the word. I have delicate, fine lips, and I love them because you know what? They light up my whole face when I smile.
They do.
And I love my lips. And so of course I had
They
to
show
write
your
that
teeth.
book. There it is. But anyway, so it made me realize that I'll never stop. Right now I'm working on my wrinkles still. These wrinkles that come up with age, I'm working on accepting them. But yeah, they're there. They show my wisdom and my experience, right? Anyway.
Right. It's like total digression, but a few years ago, I had some photos taken, and it was like with one of those places where they'll put your makeup on, and then and then,
those beauty photos.
Then they show you the picture afterward that they took in HD, so that every line is like accentuated. And then, of course, they're like, well, would you like us to touch this up for you?
Yes, please.
So, of course. But then when I saw what they had done, they had touched it up so much, I didn't even look like me anymore. And I'm like, no, this is not me. I don't want to look like I'm 20, because I'm not.
Yeah, everything's like fuzzed over, and you lose your features. I mean, you can't see the cheekbones anymore. The way people do touch-ups these days.
I'm just like, who is this person? So I said, no, I need to look like me, but just, maybe without quite so much definition on the lines.
Right.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
But, it was like, then that made me start thinking, it's like, how many people actually do want to get completely rid of all those lines? And I'm like,
Right.
Yeah. And then you look like Joan Rivers, right? Not attractive.
Oh.
Bless her soul.
Yeah.
She is a beautiful person too.
Yes. She was hilarious.
She was definitely hilarious.
Yeah.
That reminds me, talking about our wrinkles and our lines. I wrote a blog about this. We need to put that on the website, Wendy. A few years ago, when my granddaughter was, I think, 4 or 5, she was in the bathroom with me, and I was putting on makeup. She always still will say, "Put makeup on me, Nani." So I did, and then she's looking in the mirror, and then she's looking at me, looking in the mirror, and then she says, "You look like me, but I don't have wrinkles." And I said, at first I'm a little like, "Oh, gee, thanks." But I mean, it was a sweet, innocent statement. And so we talked about it, and I said,
just tell it like they see it.
I said, all these lines are the story of my life. and I made it up. I said, this line is when your father got hit in the head with a crowbar and I had to take him to the hospital for stitches. And this line is where your uncle did this. And this line is when your other uncle did that, and then these lines are from when you were born. And these lines are from when your brother was born. And
oh, what a beautiful way to talk
That's
about
a
our
great
wrinkles.
story.
But it is. The lines are the story of our lives.
They are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for making me feel better about my wrinkles. They're wonderful.
Yeah, add that to the second version or the second phase of the book.
I just had that thought though before you said that. I thought I need to ask her for that story.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to.
Love yourself as you're aging.
There you go. The golden rule for the golden years, right?
Ooh, that's
there
clever.
You go.
Yeah.
Golden rule for the golden years. I like it.
I like that too.
Oh my.
Pretty cool.
I'm going to be writing books for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been preparing to write for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And a few accomplishments. Cool.
That's a good reminder. What is the name of your recent book?
The book is called Love Yourself First, Finding Joy in the Golden Rule.
Love Yourself First. I love it. That's a great title.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what would be awesome is, as you know, readers, we try to end our show each time with moments with your higher self. So I'm just wondering, Adrian, maybe you would share with us an activity that you've got going that could be used as our moments with your higher self.
Yes. Awesome. Because this idea actually came from a friend of mine. She said, how about we do a selfie challenge, but a golden rule selfie challenge? So in the book, there are several places where I put the little camera icon in there, that has the little rotating arrows. That's where you touch to turn your camera around to take your selfie.
Oh, the flippy thing.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So in the book, whenever there's that little icon, then it's a little exercise about, how would you want, whatever the concept is, how does this concept apply, and what do you think about yourself? How would you, whatever, and turn that around on yourself. If it's praise, you want somebody to praise you, you would praise your friend. So praise yourself, basically. And that's one example. So in this selfie challenge, we're asking people to post a selfie of themselves doing something that they would want someone to do for them. And then they turn around and do it for themselves. Like if it's, at Valentine's Day weekend here, how long has it been since if you like to receive flowers, if you've gotten a flower, go get a long stem rose and buy it for yourself. Or if you just, all you want to do is for someone to give you time in the bathtub, we'll just, put the movie on for the kids and just say, I'm going to go and give myself a bath, or, whatever. Well, yeah, don't take that selfie in the bathtub unless it's on your face, please. Anyway, but do take a moment to specifically and purposely do something that you wish someone would do for you. Do that for yourself and then take a picture. And if you post it on Facebook or on Instagram with the hashtag Golden Rule Selfie, then we are going to kind of collect all those. And I have some prizes that I'm going to send out from some local artisans, as well as copies of the book. Anyway, it's just a challenge to get people to participate in something that's fun, but also that is self-building, that will help you see yourself as you would a good friend. And that's the goal here.
And didn't you create a little website with the challenge, so we could get email reminders of different topics?
Yes, if you go to goldenruleselfie.com, there is a video there explaining it, so you don't have to remember this. But goldenruleselfie.com has a video that tells you what to do it and why and how, and then where to post. You can actually post it on anything. Post it on your own timeline, post it on a group, post it in somewhere. We do have a group with a Love Yourself First theme, discussion group. If you want to join that also, you are welcome to join there. And then just there will be some email reminders, some just little points, little thoughts, little insights to help you raise your level of understanding with yourself. So
I love that. And I will say, I've probably taken that to heart a little too often with buying myself chocolates over the years.
I do want to, yeah, it's very different from indulgence. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that you can indulge yourself in, something that you're like, oh, I just need to feel better. But pick something that's going to make you feel better days ahead. I mean, like when you think about it tomorrow, it's still going to bring a smile to your face. You're not going to go, oh my gosh, my stomach. You're going to go, oh, that was so nice. That was so sweet of myself to do this for myself.
Yeah,
something little and
like,
small.
Yeah. Thinking of something that we separate from an indulgence, like chocolate.
Right.
But something that we don't do that often that would be nice to receive. So
well, maybe
receive it. Yeah.
Maybe you could describe the difference in maybe like a 2-pound bag of M&Ms, which doesn't take me very long to go through, or just a little Dove chocolate. You know, one is a token that just you got that, and the other is, oh my gosh, I can't get enough. But that's the difference. The difference is honoring yourself. So, did you take your selfie, Wendy?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Because
you were asking me where to
just
post
the right moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Pick something, and it can just be giving yourself a smile. Just smile and say, "Hey, I started to think something not so nice about myself, and I turned it around. And here's my smile."
Oh, that's good. It'd be that simple.
Yes, exactly. It is simple. And sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things.
Yes, because we're especially myself, I'm thinking like a big production and just sometimes
simple.
Sometimes just picking up the phone and calling somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, wow. I'm so thrilled that you're sharing this book with us all, and I can't wait to actually get to read it. And
well, Wendy, you were a good example for me because you wrote a book a few years ago too, and I thought, oh, cool, I'm going to do that someday. So now I'm grown up and I'm like Wendy now.
I love it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm excited. It's almost like birthing a child again.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's this process is it's like when you see that, it's like, wow, this came out of me.
Yeah, I know.
And then, and it's a really incredible feeling. So
I'm glad. Yeah, it is a really good feeling when it's like all out there in package and ready to share.
Yeah. And we'll have information on our website and on our show notes on how to purchase your book and how to connect with you on Instagram and get into the selfie challenge.
How to love yourself even more.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done my Instagram. We have our farm Instagram. I haven't done the author Instagram yet, but we do have the Facebook page.
Okay. Oh yeah, because that's right. Because we have the Golden Doodles.
Right. If you post on your Instagram, then we'll find your hashtag. If you put the hashtag, so please remember to put the hashtag.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get all that in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well,
I have so much enjoyed this discussion.
Yeah. Wow. We always have so much fun with our conversations in the tent. And thank you all for listening and joining us.
Yes. So we'll see you next time in the tent. And thank you, Adrian, for joining us today. What a pleasure.
You are welcome. Thank you for inviting me to the tent. It's a nice place to be.
It is. We love it in here.
Yes, we do.
All right. Until next time, dear listeners, take care.
Take care. We hope you've been uplifted by this episode. Please help us uplift others by sharing, subscribing, and reviewing our show. Join in on the conversation by adding your insights and transformations in the comments section. See you next time.